Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the FUTBIN Podcast. My name is Richard Buckley and once again I am joined by my right-hand man, but he's on my left, Mr. Matt Foot Trading. How are we, sir?
Very well, mate. Good to be back. Had a little week off last week. We partied hard in Leeds for the Football Content Awards a couple of weeks back. So it might have been a little bit of an injury taken from that, but no, it was a good week and good to be back.
You are listening, I have to say, to the award-winning FUTBIN Podcast as well. We've got a very special guest with us this week. You've seen him on social media. You've seen him on the content creation grind. He's the objective king. He's the season pass superstar. Only Mr. Morsey. Welcome to the
season pass superstar. Hold up, I will take that all day. Now, thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited for this. This is my first time on a podcast and an award-winning podcast. That's a pretty big deal. So, thank you for having me, and let's get stuck into it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. What we got coming up on today's episode, I hear you ask. Well, we're going to be looking back at a weekend of Black Friday midness, I'm going to say. A lot of packs opened, a lot of money spent. How did we see the promo over the weekend? We've had some big updates in the game. A recent patch, goalkeeper movement seemingly abolished. We'll be talking all things, our thoughts and feelings on that. As always, we'll be looking at Morsey's team tactics and why he is using certain players. We've got all the popular Evos from the Flash Evos from the past weekend that we hope you did. If you did any other Evos, let us know on social media and make sure you tag us on socials. We'll try and review some of the best ones for next week. And we have got everything season pass. We reviewed it last week with myself, Bateson and Kieran. We were sort of a little bit misunderstood on whether to go for it or whether not to go for it. So we thought, let's bring in the one who knows everything to do with the season pass. Morsey's going to be telling us how to complete it the quickest way, what's worth taking out of it, and is it worth purchasing the premium pass? All that and plenty more to come on today's episode. But as always, we start with a little bit of team chat. So it only feels right to bring up Morsey's team. He's going to talk us through it. He's going to tell us the tactics. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you have been using in Ultimate Team.
Oh, yes.
Very, very original team, Morsey.
Yeah, it's a little bit rogue, this one. Now, this is my RTG, and I kind of wanted to get like an identity when I started it, because what I normally do, like a lot of people, I'm assuming listening or watching this, will start an RTG and then stop playing it within a month, forget about it, and it goes to the wayside. So I kind of wanted to get something that I'd be passionate about, I guess. And for me, a lot of my content is Evo-based, so Evolutions is like my main thing. So that's definitely, as you could probably tell, what I've tried to stick to, because there's a fair few evolutions in there. Basically, every player minus a couple of SBCs and one pack pool player is an Evo. So, yeah. Do you recognize many of these guys?
I recognize Press.
Yeah, okay.
SBC, because I completed her recently with like some 84s that I had left before she expired. I recognise this Kone, but probably not from this game.
Yeah, that's
probably from a previous game. And then obviously Nick Pope in goal.
Big
but
Nick Pope
talk
in
us
the
through it from
sticks.
goalkeeper to striker.
Of course. So goalkeeper is it's obviously a hot topic with the new patch and basically the abolishment of keeper movement. So Nick Pope was decent enough for me at the start. I got him in mostly for chemistry. And being 6'6", he's a big lad. I think he has far-reaching footwork-based play style as well. And he was okay, but I tell you what, he might be on fraud watch now. After the recent endeavours in Rivals a couple of days ago, some of the animations, man, it was beyond suspect. So he's in the sticks for now, but more than likely, I think a goalkeeper evolution is going to be on the cards. And that Mamadashvili, who I think he fit an Evo a couple of days ago, he could be a quick replacement for me. But the team, as you can see, there's a few people you might recognise from you guys, like a few popular Evos. For example, left back. We'll start left back because it's a pretty simple spot. It's Teo Hernandez, and he's still as good as last year, in my opinion, boys. I don't know about you. If you've used him or played against him, it's the same old boy, isn't it? Like Jockey Playstyle Plus, he's immense, mate. Immense. So he's like the only real, I would say, out-and-out meta player I've got in the squad. And yeah, he's going nowhere for now. Centre-back partnership. I tell you what, if you looked at my team about 2 weeks ago, it was nowhere near like this. The Evos have carried me, okay? And like the Playstyle Pluses in the season pass, which of course we'll talk about in a little bit, and the actual Playstyle Pluses in the SBCs, like that's huge, man. Getting the Intercept Playstyle Plus, big fan of that. So I definitely made the most of that because Collins and Kalulu, my centre-back partnership, as you could tell, they probably don't already have the best stats out there, but we've evoed them a fair bit. Collins was a silver originally, and he's quite a popular silver card, so you might recognize him from the silver leagues. Boost him up with a few evos here and there. The flash evos definitely made the most of those, and Intercept Playstyle Plus is a game changer. And every defensive playstyle, lads, I kid you not, if you're in the market for a little project at centre back, Collins could be your guy, okay? Keep an eye out for him. Kalulu's a bit rogue because I packed Kone, the CDM there, the prime time, and I needed French chemistry. I needed Serie A chemistry. I packed him, bought in Kalulu, and he's all right. Definitely a room for improvement there. I did give him the intercept, as you can see, but 100% a spot that might get upgraded in the future. Right back. Now, I get accused of being a closet Sunderland fan a fair bit because you can see the little link up, right? I'm an Arsenal fan, okay? I don't mind Sunderland. They're doing bits this season, but the main reason why the right back's here is to link to the right mid, who we'll get on in a little bit because he's a bit of a club legend for me now. But Trey Hume, I believe his name is. I packed him, I think, from Champs. It was in the, I forget these card types. What are they called, by the way? I've completely forgot. Is it Festival of Football?
These are I believe so.
That's it. Yeah, so I packed him in Champs Awards, and his playstyle surprised me. I'm pretty certain he's got, is it Quick Step, Anticipate, Jockey Base? So I gave him a try, and he's decent. Gave him the Bruiser Plus from, I think, one of the gauntlets or the tournaments, and then I put him through one of the Flash Evos as well. So the defense is looking all right now. Like, I can get away with that. I'm pretty confident repping in a bit of sweaty rival matches or Champs with this defense. Moving into the midfield.
Is ridiculous, isn't it? Across the back four.
Yeah.
Average pace of 80, 86 probably across the back four. So
it's not bad. We like it. Yeah, pace is important, man. It always is every year, as well as play styles, of course. So we're looking good. The CDMs, you touched on a certain no playstyle plus card here, Kone. A lot of you will recognize him. I think it was it might have been FIFA 23, a storyline card. He was part of the season pass, which is obviously relevant to myself. And that card was insane. Like, I love that storyline card. So packing him again, I was like, I need the nostalgia. I need the passion. He's in my team. He's lacking a fair bit. He doesn't have the best playstyles. The stats are okay, but he does the job for me. And I'm hoping Roma, I need him to clutch up because I think they need to finish like top 8 in their group to get a playstyle plus. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the upgrade path.
Man. Hopefully it happens. Or if we get some sort of SBCs that allow me to give him like a tiki-taka playstyle plus or intercept, that'd be nice. But the CDM partner, if it's in the Mecca, I think that's how you say his name. I call him Big Felix around here because he's a big man. He's 6'4", lengthy, and he is the box crasher, okay? He sees a box, he will crash it, quite literally. The amount of goals this man has got for me is ridiculous from CDM. And he is a little bit more of a floater, I would say, like up and down as much as possible. And just seeing him pop up like back sticks. So I'm working down the right-hand side. I just look in the box and Felix is waving on the end of it, back of the net, happy days. But he's a decent card. And he was through the Song of Torre evolution, I believe it was. Yeah. Which is a crazy Evo, man. Like, Evo content, one thing with Thunderstruck, that content for the evolutions is just carried the week for me, which is something I'm sure we'll get onto in a little bit. But having incisive pass as well, playstyle plus, deadly for me. But they are lacking passing playstyles. I think Kone's only got ping base. Felix only has incisive plus. So no ticky, no pinged on his card. So it's not ideal. But yeah, I want to quickly just take a minute to talk about the right mid boys because this guy, oh my days. Now with me and RTGs, I think it's like the first time where I've properly stuck to my guns, right? I wanted to have that passion. And I tell you what, you know, when you load up the game and you select your league and you get your bronze, your silvers, your gold commons. This man right here, Romain Mundle, silver common card, 71 rated. I thought nothing of it. I put him in my team, hat trick, game number 1, winning goal. And that was it. My RTG was it was set in stone. We're going to theme the team basically around this man. Try and only have maximum 2 Sunderland players for now. We'll see how that goes. But I've evolved him all the way up, gave him Tiki Plus, which is, I think maybe it's a bit of a debate. Is it the best play style for a right mid? I don't know, but I do quite like it, especially because he didn't have the best passing. So that was carrying his passing for sure. But Flash Evos up to an 87. He's looking good, man. Left mid, press. You touched on it. SBC, you did it with 84 rated cards you've got. And that's basically the reason why I did it as well. I had a bit of a dupe storage issue. Saw press. The balance kind of put me off a little bit. I think it was like 70. But we committed. And she's actually all right. Have you used her, Buckley?
Yeah, she does a job. I mean, I think any striker with Finesse Plus is worthwhile at some point in the game. So I want to just have her in the club for the eventual American women items that come out. I've got my hopes that down the line I'm going to pack Alex Morgan.
Okay.
It's all going to link together. But at some point they always become super meta. So I just wanted it. I wanted it in there for when that happens.
Nice. I like the vision. That's a good plan to have. And she's good. Once again, it's finesse. And we'll touch you with the keeper. The keeper changes in the recent patch, but finesse shot playstyle, man. Like the playstyle plus, if you couldn't score from outside the box, you'll be able to now because they just fly top bins. On precision shooting, it's a bit crazy. But she's not perfect, but icon chemistry as well. Definitely gets overlooked with the end of the era cards. And as you could tell by my team, it's a bit all over the place in regards to leagues, nations. There's not really much of a theme here. So icon chem is quite important for me. The cam, I'm assuming a lot of you guys are going to recognize this man because he was doing the rounds, right? He was, I think it might be an Orzio or a few other boys are repping him. And I'm not going to lie, I might have jumped on the bandwagon a little bit, okay? I had him first owner, so I thought, why not make some sort of crazy Evo for Mr. Marsala? And it's Finesse Plus again, and he is honestly broken. Have you played against him yet?
Oh, yes, I've seen a few.
Yeah.
Few different combinations of like the playstyle plus and to that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's crazy. I couldn't understand. I know a lot of people were saying good stuff about him, but trying him out myself, I was like, nah, this is a special card. So he's in the cam position. He's got base incisive. One thing I will say, my team is definitely lacking passing playstyles, which might not be meta, but it is what it is. And the guy up top, Duranville. Once again, it's another finesse plus. Yes, I'm a bit of finesse shot merchant, but this guy, I put him through a training camp Evo. Packed him first owner. He was like a 72 rated silver. I think it was Striker's Rise. It was like one of the first training camp evolutions. Made him an 83. And then it gave him 4 positions. So I couldn't evolve him for like 2 months. So I was just sat there with this card, irrelevant for me, until the other day when the Thunderstruck right wing, I can't remember what it's called, Magician to the right or something along those lines came out and I was set. And that is the team.
I mean, it's probably the most original team we've had so far, cool. Matt, on the pod. Quick look at the tactics. We're not going to go too super in depth on this. It looks pretty similar to sort of what we've seen throughout the game. But I mean, what a team, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk Evos, it's kind of what you want to see, isn't it? You know, it's not the typical, you know, we'll go on to some of the Flash Evos and some we've seen, like a lot of the like Bisex, Camavingas, you know, Claudia Pina Evos probably coming soon. So it's nice to see, especially some of the silvers. Like I've seen a lot of that Namdi Collins and Duranville in like the silver tournament. So it's nice to see them getting Evos because I think quite a few people are kind of holding on to them for that silver content. So yeah, good to get them, see them getting recognised.
Absolutely. Love the team. And
cheers, boys.
Hopefully we can see it throughout the year continue to evolve. Pardon the pun. And we start to see some more original teams as well from other members sort of the community. And I think Evos, it feels as though we're a little bit downtrodden, and then Black Friday, from what we've seen of the content, I think a lot of people, it really, that was the driving force behind Black Friday for a lot of people, were those Evos. Speaking of Black Friday, speaking of Thunderstruck, let's have a look at the promo team that was released over the weekend. A lot of players, I think 44 players, got released into packs over the weekend. We've got all the players here available. So what we'll do is I'll very quickly, we'll show the main team, the best 11, and then we'll just quickly scroll through. And maybe I'll ask a couple of recommendations or how was sort of Black Friday as a whole for the pair of you. Jude, obviously, you've got the big players, Jude, Mateus, Rodri, Theo Hernandez coming in relatively expensive as well. Moving down, Diego Dallo, I saw a lot of people really quite nicely liking with the Jockey Plus playstyle, good pace, great defending. A lot of people packing Urian Timber. Again, Jockey Plus as the playstyle plus that he does have. Kante, 300k. Gravenberch coming in at 150k. I think that's actually quite a nice pickup. If the only problem is Liverpool are pretty horrific at the moment, so he might not be getting the upgrades that people did want. Matt, I'll come over to you. Obviously, a lot of promo items, a lot of Thunderstruck players. Was it overdone? Was there too many Thunderstruck players released?
No, I don't think so. I think the main thing I'll probably talk about when it comes to these is power curve, and there are a lot of cards in here that are in their position. I would say top 5 options. You look at the likes of
Rodri.
Yeah, you look at likes of Rodri, Jude Bellingham, Alexi Patelis. I was actually going to look at that Georgia Stanway.
Yeah.
If you think of players that can now get into squads for cheap, she's like 30,000 coins, and I think she's a bit further down, Rich. Bottom right, I want to say. There she is. Like someone like this, Tiki Plus, incisive, pinged, long, jockey, technical, first touch. Those are elite play styles.
Number 1 DLP, number 1 holding, number 3 box crasher, number 3 wide half, number 8 centre half. And what? 28,000 coins.
Yeah, just look at the stats. We are starting to see these kind of cards now being available for 30,000 coins. So I think it's a bit different to what we've seen, isn't it? In the last few promos, and that there's been a lot of really low end fodder that no one's really caring about. Now we're getting cards that are really attainable, that are really starting to push that power curve in the right direction. So I think from that aspect, I would say good promo. Yes, there is a lot of filler. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen too many Thunderstruck pulls considering the amount of packs that have been available, let alone the amount of top end cards that are that 100k plus price point. But I think, will Thunderstruck be remembered for the promo team? Probably not. I think the Evos have been that good, but I think it's still EA have delivered on what they said in that Black Friday, and Thunderstruck would be that power curve improvement point.
For you, Morsey, who in this team? I mean, you don't really buy players off the market, but if you were, who are you looking at? Sort of not a ridiculous player. We're not talking Pateas or Jude or even Rodri, just under 1 million coins. But who are some of those that would? I mean, you say maybe a centre back, maybe a DM.
I mean, I do have a content account as well, so I've tried a fair few Thunderstruck cards. The obvious heavy hitters, Arsenal boys, obviously, Jurian Timber, sensational player. Putting the bias aside for a quick second, you might not believe me here, but somewhat similar to Jules Koundé in the way that he's kind of built stat-wise with the jockey. Could play right back, could play centre back, similar kind of height. And I did really like the card. Dallo, who you touched on, is a pain to play against. This guy is just so solid, so quick, and obviously with the playstyle plus jockey probably being one of the most in-demand playstyle pluses for fullbacks at the moment. For 100k again, it's a really good card here. The base playstyles may be lacking a bit. I mean, the Rory Delap traits there, quick step, intercept, long ball, could come in clutch, but he's a decent shout. But I think probably the standout player, and I played against him, it's in the main team. His name's Pedro Neto, which should be no surprise. This guy is a nightmare to play against, man. The finesse, once again, is good. And the lack of playstyles is pretty crazy. He's only got the 4, which is something I didn't actually realize. But Tiki, Rapid, Quick Step, they're good. And then obviously being 4-star. And the positions, you can play him striker, all across the... That's it, man.
Yeah, the flexibility in being able to play him either side. No one's really playing with wingers right now. So whether you're playing a 4-5-1, a 4-2-3-1, or 4-4-1-1, you can play him either side, or you can play him up top. The player that I sort of want to have a quick review of, because I did use them, and I think with they've just got something about them. This player, and it's Aubameyang. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. He's quicker than 90 pace. His finishing is immaculate. He doesn't really rank too high in any of sort of the FUTBIN rating stats, but there's just something about him where he is so fast. And I think it's that combination of his height with the pace, with rapid as a base play style as well, and having that little bit of physicality that when you do go shoulder to shoulder, you can sort of get in front of players. But he is, for 40k, I think there's 2 players there that if you want to go and try them, maybe 3 players. We've got a midfielder in Stanway, a defender in Yuri Timber, and a striker in Aubameyang. For 100k, you can go and pick all 3 up. It's definitely worth going to play and just see what they like. For the upgrade path on these players, a win or draw, you get a play style. Win or draw 3, you get all roles plus, and then for 10 club goals, that's not the player, that's the club. If they score 10 club goals, I believe it's in 5 matches, in 5 sort of league games. There you go, perfect. We can see it here. You will get a playstyle plus. So the upgrade path is quite, shall we say, flexible, I think is the best way to say it. It's not on the player, it's on the team. But yeah, just keep an eye out. And even if you pack a few of them, just keep them in the club and see sort of what you get out of it. Let's have a very quick look, while we're speaking of Thunderstruck, of the icons, because there was an icon team released with it. We were asking for a long time. We've seen not seen many promo icons this year. They went top heavy. You just have to say they went top heavy. Maradona, Eusebio, Eto'o, Beckenbauer, Maldini, Roberto Carlos. The drop-off is quite significant. It was quite funny. On Monday, I was at the FC Pro Open show, and you had to have 2. It might have been 1 or 2 Thunderstruck icons in the team, and everybody picked David Beckham, and I think it was Schweinsteiger, and they just sat on the bench. No one's really going hard on these icons. What's the sort of initial thoughts, Matt, on icon integration in promos?
Yeah, I think you've kind of said it right there in that if the pros aren't using them, I mean, obviously pro teams, there's a budget involved there.
Yeah.
So none of these are good value for money, is effectively what we are saying. You know, yes, someone like a Maradona, easily the best card in the game right now. I think we all
comfortably
the best card in the game. But you know, even like that sort of mid tier, like a Billy right here, 755k. I don't think you're spending that, you know, on a midfield player right now, even with the icon link. So yeah, I think it does kind of speak volumes that if the pros aren't considering these cards for pro teams at that current price, they're going for the 2 cheapest and putting them on the bench. Should we be considering them for our teams, or are there better options out there?
I mean, I think from what you've just seen with Morsey's team, with Evos, and what you can do, someone like David Beckham for 150k just doesn't seem that good value when you're considering that there's weaknesses there in the player. You're getting a playstyle plus, arguably, that you don't really want from a right mid, ping pass plus. It feels like they should be better. The only one I think is, for me, that's worth looking at, and that would be Xavi. He's coming in at just under 1 million coins. However, Tiki Taka Plus, as a centre mid, is the best play style in the game. He can play centre mid, DM, and cam. He is, in my opinion, going to get all 3 upgrades because it's associated with Barca. I can't see a world in which they don't get all 3 upgrades, and the playstyles that he's already got are pretty immaculate for a centre mid. I just think this, if I had unlimited budget and I was being responsible with my coins, this is where I'd potentially be looking if I needed a centre mid CDM to go and purchase.
Yeah, I think so. That's, you know, these are top tier cards that we're talking right now. And again, when you factor in, again, potential some playstyle boosts in here as well. These are icon. Like if that got released at Team of the Year, for example, if that had a Team of the Year icon design, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. You would say that is in there at that point. And those cards, they're usable all the way through till sort of March, April, May time. So I think these are the kind of cards that you can be getting in now. Obviously, power curve discussions. How much is Team of the Year going to kick this on? How much are these sort of new promos sort of coming up directly after Thunderstruck going to kick the power curve on? But I think there's been such a jump right now in these kind of cards that they are going to stay in teams for longer. They're going to hold value a little bit longer, potentially even rise out of packs. That's something that we don't see a lot of in the market this year. I think these are the kind of cards that can do that.
Like if you want to go and buy these players and use them in the team, if you went and bought Maldini now, you're buying the best centre-back in the game for probably outside of maybe a Team of the Year. I don't even know who's going to get Team of the Year at centre-back. Saliba, maybe Marquinhos. Like, he's going to be up in that line until Team of the Season. But is Team of the Year Marquinhos going to cost 4 million coins? I don't think so. I think he'll probably be a little bit cheaper. So it's just... I suppose the question is, who are these players made for? Maradona, Beckenbauer, Eusebio, Maldini, Bale. And I don't think it's... I'd say us, and we're the hardcore of the hardcore players, but it's not for us. I think it is for the players who are spending thousands on Black Friday and trying to get them in the team and trying to go and buy them. I was speaking to... couple of my friends on Monday who were at the event, the other talent, and they were saying, I'm finding it very hard to get coins. They were spending pretty decent amounts of money on Black Friday. I'm not going to name names, but, and they were saying, I still can't afford the best players in the promo. And I think that is, we talked about it last week with Kieran and Bateson. Very hard to get coins right now on this game. And I think this promo there's just players that are just simply unattainable. And I think that is just a little bit of a problem. Morsey, any of these icons that you'd be tempted by? Any that you used? I know you said you got the content team.
Yeah, I've not tried any of these. In all honesty, the obvious heavy hitters I'm all about. Like, give me that Maradona, please, EA Sports. Preferably on the RTG as well. That'd be fantastic. They look good, but I just echo all that you're saying, man. Like, how are you getting these cards? Unless you've just got an endless supply of coins, you're not forking out 5 million for a Eusebio. And if you're looking at the budget, I mean, Rivaldo, maybe if I'm not too fussed about the meta and I just want to use a player that, I liked growing up, could be a play. But apart from that, I think we might forget about some of these pretty quickly, in all honesty.
Yeah. I agree. I'm right there with you. Let's move on. We talked about Black Friday and the Evos were the big driving factor for a lot of people. I'm going to hand it over to the assistant manager to give this next presentation because we've got some Evo chat. A lot of people did Evos. A lot of people consumed Evos. If you did any Evos, as I said before, let us know on social media and send them in because I love looking at different Evos and seeing people. But Matt, what are we looking at? Who's some of those popular ones? Obviously, we've got a pretty good selection of data where we can see what Evos are being done and what Evos have been most popular. But what are we looking at from the weekend?
Yes, so I think I've seen a lot of content creators. I've seen a lot of these on the popular. We can see a lot of comments on the likes of Bisek. These Flash Evos, I think, arguably for me, best part of the Thunderstruck event. +2s overall, and the big sort of stat boosts, the individual stat boosts. So seeing a lot of these chains where people are putting on pace, defending, physical for the likes of Isaac who can still get into these Evos. And again, for me, I've seen mixed reviews of these kind of cards. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if these are the kind of players that are being used now or kind of like being sort of teed up for future Evos. I know like Morsey Season Pass, we've got Jockey in there. I think Jockey Plus is one of them. So, are these the kind of cards that are being teed up for that. But yeah, we've seen a few in there. I know Zabarnyi was another sort of very, very popular option. A lot of centre backs, I think, for the most part. There was a lot of Bissek, Zabarnyi, Van der Ven. I know has been getting in a lot of those chains. So yeah, I don't know. For me, I think these are the perfect evos for those those one club teams and teams like Morsey's and that where you're looking to increase those club legends a little bit. But
so not to be the bearer of bad news, but with how popular and well received these evos were, the flash evos that give the stat increases on the individual stats rather than the sort of the big boost to then cut you out of potential future evos. Next promo, whether it's Winter Wildcards, the next big promo, do we just see these evos again behind a paywall?
Ooh.
Because they were done by everyone. Like, I don't really do a lot of evos, and I went and put my Luca Connell from Barnsley into a few of these evos, and now I've got an 87 centre mid that is tiki-taka plus, I think 7 base play styles, like competitively viable to go into my main team.
Yeah.
It's only because I did these free evos.
Yeah, I think, again, these aren't the evos that you'll be seeing further boosts on for a little while now. The stat caps that we're seeing are still sort of around that 85 overall mark. So, it might be looking more until maybe team of the year. It could be team of the year before we start evoing these guys again. So I think that's something that potentially a few people haven't thought of. I mean, these are flash evos available for 3 days. Some questionable decisions may have been made as to who they were put on. I know I probably made a couple of mistakes in my Charlton boys that we were not going to show on the pod because I don't know, we're embarrassed by how we've done some of them. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if this format returned behind some paid content, because I think it was so well received. We're now seeing a lot more evos in main teams, as you say, Rich. Absolutely. I think that's something I haven't really seen up to now. It's been very much that cookie cutter kind of attack of Claudia Pina, Bonmati, Putelis, Nico Williams, Yamal. That those sorts of players have been just dominating the meta.
I've seen Rashford nearly in every game.
Yeah. A lot more Van der Vens with the Jockey Plus and high defending, high physical now. So I think it's been good from the shaking up teams perspective. Interested to see how it progresses from here and how quickly we are going to actually be able to kick these evos on a little bit further.
Morsey, obviously you did a lot of evos. How do you prioritize your evos? Because for a lot of people I saw on social media and in Discord servers and whatnot, they were saying, I've got 12 evos to do. I need to do everything. I've got to do everything in the next 10 hours. Do you have any tips for people?
Honestly, it could be overwhelming, just to say the least, especially with the gauntlet and all the tournaments now, and we're getting these reward evos. Even if it's not necessarily anything that's insane, it could be a base play style. But as soon as you load up the Evo tab now, you're just greeted with, 5 paid Evos, 10 free Evos, the Flash Evos floating in there. And as I mentioned, these kind of reward token things, man, it's a bit chaotic. I will say, patience can be rewarded with evolutions for sure. If you've got a player that you're really passionate about and they're a lower rated card, maybe don't jump the gun too much on an Evo that comes out. But equally at the same time, you're here to have fun. So if you like the look of an Evo and maybe it doesn't give a playstyle maybe you want now, you might get the option to give it in the future. So I feel like it's one of those where if you commit, don't feel too bad about it. If you make your player 87 rated, they're going to be evolvable at some point in the near future. And once again, with Gauntlet as well, that's something to mention. Definitely more promoting Evo teams or more of a variety of squads. If you make a player, maybe put him in an Evo you're not the biggest fan of, he might not make the main team, but he can still make the Gauntlet team. So I think, yes, it's definitely a tough one to find the right way to do an evolution. But just double check as well with FUTBIN and websites like this. It's insane because you can check all the active Evos, and they've added it in game now, haven't they? With the view available evolution. So just double check that. Spend a little bit of time making sure that you can't chain a player through a different way before you commit to the main Evo. That's probably the best thing I'd say.
Yeah, I'd just add on to that as well. And I know something that I've focused a lot more on this year is the first thing that you should be doing is just focusing on playstyles. That we've seen obviously with all the playstyle caps now that people are starting to kind of miss out on some when it's like the 5 or 6 playstyle caps. So, things like that playstyles trifecta Evo when that was out, that gave, I think it was pinged, technical, and trickster or something like that.
Yeah.
Being able to get pinged and technical on your centre mids as a start point. I've seen a lot of people, they've gone through these Evos and now they've got things that they potentially wouldn't want on centre mids. Like I've seen some with like Game Changer on centre mids when they could have had like ping pass, and so that's something that I've been focusing on. Get the play styles, and then the stats and playstyle pluses will follow.
I'll share my Evo story from the weekend. I had quite a obviously there was a lot of overwhelming, and I don't do a lot of Evos. It's a part of the game that I don't particularly just and this isn't just this year, it's a lot of years. I just don't really do it a lot. I use the team that I've got. I'll play all the game modes, but Evos is not something that I really do. I'm a Barnsley fan. It's very hard to get a very good Barnsley team without doing every single Evo on every single player. So I'll pick 1 or 2 maybe every year, and then I'll Evo them up. I saw the Evos come out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take someone, I'm going to start them low, I'm going to get them all the way up. So I picked a left back called Ogbeta. He's 6'2", silver left back. I brought him in, and without even realising it, I realised after like 4 Evos, I'd got an 89 pace, 89 physicality left back who's 72 rated with like long throw, long ball, incisive. And the rest of the stats were terrible. But then because of the 89 pace, 89 physicality, I couldn't really progress him any further. So I've got an 81 rated left back who is really quite average, but he's got intercept plus, he's rapid, and he's got really, really good physicality. So that's my left back. I just need basically just a defensive Evo and that I can actually put him into. And I think I'm cooking. But probably for the next 2 months, I'm just stuck with just a brute at left back who can't do anything other than run and shove people out of the way.
That's the Barnsley way, Rich.
It really is. Get it down and get it long. But I'll let you know if any more Evos come out. Let's move on to the highlight of the week. It is the part of the show that I know people, they see the timestamp and they'll skip forward to. It is hot or not. Morsey is in the chair this week. There's going to be 5 SBCs that I give you. All you need to tell me, are they hot or are they not? Do you complete them or do you give them a miss? Let's kickstart. There was a lot of content this week, so it's probably the most expensive hot or not ever. We've leveled up the budget for this week. Flashback Kunde, 550k. Hot.
Oh no! Just that's a capital no as well on that one. That's not worth it for me, man.
Okay,
not in the slightest.
We'll go to another centre back. Thunderstruck Pacho, coming in at 230k.
I don't mind it. He's missing the odd playstyle, but of course, Thunderstruck's getting the playstyles. Hopefully, if PSG get the wins and the goals, so I would say hot. He's simmering a little bit of simmer on that one, I think.
Let's go over to the left-hand side. Flashback Rayton, 130k.
Hot all day. Quality card. I think for the price, like that's a player who could be in your team now for a little bit as well. She could play in Cam. Yeah, what's not to like here, man?
We're going to finish with 2 sets of icon hot or nots. Not flashback. Imagine it was. It is a flashback technically. Thunderstruck icon Fernando Torres, 630k.
I feel like if you're a big fan of Torres or Liverpool past and present or something along those lines, maybe. But for me, nah, he doesn't have enough to justify the price tag for me. So, no.
And we're going to finish with an icon match day pick: Cafu or Carlos Alberto, 650k.
Yeah, that's definitely hot, and it's probably one of the best value SBCs we've seen during Thunderstruck for sure. Like you can't go wrong with both selections as well. Cafu's great, Capita as well, Carlos Alberto, quality card.
There you go, complete Carlos Alberto and Cafu. Matt,
yeah.
We had a lot of SBCs over the week. We had a lot of things that people could do, a lot of upgrade paths, a lot of 82 by 20s, 84 plus 5s, etc. All the standard stuff that we see. What's your sort of big takeaways from Black Friday from an SBC standpoint?
I think it's been very, very strong. Again, very overpriced in some regards. That Jules Day, I think, might go down as the most overpriced SBC of the year. There's still some time, but yeah, that was off the mark for me. Really nice to see things like the 82 10s, 84 3s. There was quite an overpriced 85 single, I think. It was like an 84 rated squad you need to put into that. So I think that was the only one that really missed the mark. But yeah, I think it's been really, really strong for all things upgrade packs. I mean, you know me, Rich, I'll be saving them all for Team of the Year. So it's been nice to get that count up with some solid packs. But, you know, let's not forget daily logins.
Yep.
Giving out some really, really good packs. These flash Thunderstruck events where you've had to play one and score in 3. You've been able to get like an 85 double for things like that. So yeah, it's been a good event to get fodder for the club. I think that might have factored into why we've had some very expensive SBCs. But yeah,
there was one.
Also,
go on,
Rich,
sorry.
let's not forget things like base icon packs now.
Yes.
Max 91 icon packs. You know, that the curve has certainly shifted a little bit on the gamble side of things with those packs.
There was one player that came out that I think has gone massively under the radar. I'm going to share it very quickly. Grace Gayoro.
Yeah.
A 90 pace CDM is unheard of. This is, in my opinion, when you look at sort of CDMs that are going to go down as like you always come against them, but you never really use them yourself. This is going to be one that I think is there. She was used yesterday in the pro event, or Monday, sorry, as of recording, because SBCs are available to be used. I just think it's just a very, very good SBC to be picking up for 80k. Playstyles wise, you've got 3 of the big ones at centre mid CDM alongside Anticipate, which you don't really see a lot of high pace midfielders get Anticipate. And there is obviously the upgrade path available that could be sort of going her way as well with the Thunderstruck promo. I just think it's worthwhile if you're looking for a CDM to go into a team. Obviously now she has moved as well to the Barclays WSL. French, representing London City Lionesses. This is one that I think, if I was to give any recommendation, just have a little look at this. If you've got fodder in the club, it's only 3 segments, coming in under 100k. See what you can do. Season pass. Morsey.
Yep.
Firstly, I mean, I've got to say, what's your reaction to the season pass? Because it's quite fresh still. And what level are you right now? I think I'm level 4 in the season pass.
Well, I was away this weekend, so I'm a little bit behind the pace of maybe where I would be normally. But I think I'm about level 8 right now. Sat around that ballpark, so nothing too crazy.
Before you give your sort of reaction to the season pass and your thoughts on it, when did you start to complete the season pass in record time? Like, what was the journey on this?
So honestly, I think it was it must have been FC24, but I think was that when the season pass started getting added? Was it? I think it was FC24, right?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So majority of my content back then was like pure player reviews on YouTube. So I was trying to get cards to review them. So SBCs, Evos, new players on the market. And of course, the season pass has that element of, ooh, shiny thing at the end of the season. Is that worth grinding for? So my whole idea was like, okay, if I can get the season pass done quickly, I can then review the player, put it on my YouTube. It could be good for views. People come click on it. It's a good idea for video, right? So that's kind of where it came from originally. And then I feel like back then, it almost feels like the season was a little bit easier to complete, or maybe less people were aware on ways to complete it, kind of on a quicker side. But that was kind of where it started, I think. So it was that Haaland, Footy's Haaland was the introduction to me in season pass grinding, to say the least.
What's your? I mean, you are the expert in this field. What's your opinion on sort of the season pass this season? And a lot of people were. It felt like it was coming in like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 for a lot of people. It wasn't an instant buy. It wasn't an instant complete, but it also wasn't a. I'm not interested in this. What's your sort of take on it?
Yeah, I'm very much on the edge as well, I think, because there's some nice things about the premium side of the pass, like Zola, for me, enjoying being passionate about cards, not too fussed about playstyles, is a good player to get. But once again, it's at the very end and you've spent 500k to get there. Is the journey worth it? Are you grinding all the SP? It's not super easy to get SP as well. So I feel like especially with Evos, I go back to Evolutions a fair bit and how expensive they are compared to the season pass. I'd much rather spend 500k on majority of paid Evos throughout the season and have tons of really good cards than spend 500k now and unlock my way up the season pass. I just don't know if it's really worth it. I don't know what you guys think.
I think
go on, Matt.
Just on the sort of the paid Evo side of things, I think now that we're starting to see them in SBCs a bit more, like that Intercept Plus was like an 85 rated squad. I don't know what the cost on that is looking like right now.
I'm sure producer Dan can get that for us very quickly.
I'm sure he can. But I'm thinking like you've got things like Low Driven Plus in there now. How much would a Low Driven Plus SBC cost you? Probably talking, 100k.
Maybe an 86 squad.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be something super, super cheap to complete. So I think, you factor those Evos in. Obviously, the packs, the cards that you're getting. I do think the value is there, but I agree. 500,000 coins when you're shelling it out in one go, who has that? And again, an SBC is very different to spending coins because you'll probably be attaining that fodder throughout, all the different objectives and that. You can't get coins.
I actually said this last week as well, and I'll say it again because I want sort of your reaction to it as a season pass connoisseur. And Matt, obviously you consuming a lot of Evos and whatnot and content in the game. I would be much more obliged to do the season pass if I could pay to auto complete it at the start.
Oof.
So similar to what other games do. On Fortnite, you can buy 100 levels for whatever it is. When I used to play a lot of Fortnite, and you'd unlock all the content instantly. And then you could go through it and you could see it. Obviously, all that content is cosmetic. I would be getting a massive advantage if I could go and get all the Evos, all the players. If I'm running around with Zola now, a Winter Wildcard Zola in the first week of December, would I be at that much of an advantage? I think in this particular set, no. I think if it was a Kaka that we got at the back end of last year, and I'm running around with Kaka in June when it's not designated to be completed by August, I think yes. But very similar to how you can buy boosters in pro clubs now to get your pro up quicker. There's no give me a double XP on SP, and I'd pay for that
a good idea,
to be able to complete it quicker. I just think I've bought the season pass in previous seasons and not completed it because things happen, life happens, and I can't get on the game every day to complete the objectives. I don't know. It is a bit of a grind to complete the season pass as sort of not at the speed you're doing it, Morsey, but if you even want to complete it, we've got until I think Christmas Day to complete this season pass. That's 40,000 XP in just over 3 weeks. Over a Christmas period where people will probably not be playing from maybe the 20th or the 21st of December. So I'm not sure. I'm uncertain.
I can see both sides of it. I think the examples that you referenced with like maybe like a Fortnite or a Call of Duty Battle Pass, like it's not as impactful to the game from like a meta perspective or a power curve perspective, as you say.
Yeah.
I think it'd be very, very tricky for EA to price. How would you price that Zola if you could get it?
Just give me a double. I'd pay 1 million coins to auto complete the season pass.
Cool.
Or how much is it? 2,000 FC points, 4,000 FC points, auto complete. Done.
Yeah. I can't say whether it would be good or bad for the game, Rich. I'll be honest. Would that Zola be worth twice as much now versus in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks when you get him? I don't know.
But then it's also it's me. It's the consumer who's spending the coins for him. Correct.
True.
Zola might get in my team for 3 weeks, and then when Winter Wildcards comes out, he's not I might drop him. But
I think this is a question for the listeners, Rich.
I also just think the season pass in general is meandering, and I think it needs something. I know there's been a lot of Evos in there to sort of juice it up, but I just think unless there is that premium player that's desirable, I'm not sure. I think it has just lost a little bit of its sparkle, and I don't know how you get that back.
I think we're starting to see some different things in there. I mean, this was the first season pass that gives an actual stat boost Evo, isn't it? And the Perfectionist, and a lot of people when that came out were looking at putting Gladiopina into that. So I think we will start seeing more of that kind of content sort of sprinkled in throughout. But how do you make the season pass more desirable is the key question.
I could see as, do you remember last year, obviously Team of the Year, we got that, I know it's a bit of a meandering thought, but the Team of the Year Evo we got for the centre-back last year, that was valued, we're at 500k.
Something like that, I think.
The Team
big
of the
one.
Blueprint. Yeah, that was 500k.
I could see that going into, that level of Evo going into the season pass over the Team of the Year. As maybe not a 500k, but every 10 levels you unlock the next part of it almost, just to juice it up. So I've just been told it was the right winger one that was 500k. The centre back was objective based, where you got it each week or whatever. But the right winger Evo was 500k. So let us know your thoughts. Are you season pass completionist? Are you rush to complete, or are you just playing along and then see where you get a day before the season pass finishes and then decide if it's worth buying? I think a lot of people also do that. Last thing to cover before we wrap up this episode. We got a couple of pieces of information. EA trying to beat the leaks out on their own content. So this was the tweet that came out a couple of days ago. We've got 3 new heroes coming in Jogo Bonito, coming to FC this Friday. You've probably seen who these are going to be. We're not going to reveal that information. If you want to go and find it, it's very easy to do so on social media. However, my question is, the promo itself, Jogo Bonito, it can only... If every player in this promo doesn't have 5-star skills, we've missed the trick.
I was just thinking, does it feel like it's like the wrong time of the year for like
absolutely? It's
it feels
freezing cold.
Yeah, you think of Jogo Bonito, you think Brazilian flair, you're not really seeing that, cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
This should become the long throw promo.
Exactly.
Everyone in the Premier League playing long throw.
Yes.
Exactly. So, but I think theming of the promo, it's got to be around technical ability, dribbling, skills,
trickster, whatever it is.
Yeah. You would think.
We'll bring you all that content in next week's podcast from Jogo Bonito, our thoughts and feelings. Last thing to talk about, we had the patch. I've left it to the end because this is probably where, if we did it at the beginning, we might not be able to get all the content in, because I think there's a lot of thoughts and feelings around this patch. It was the holiday update. Last year we got the holiday update, which completely changed the game. This year it's the holiday update on goalkeeper movement. I will share my screen because I've got it up here for us. They were asking for feedback on goalkeeper movement, and this is what they've done. Greatly reduced movement speed and amount of ground covered when using goalkeeper movement in open play. So just for people who don't know what that is, that's this one. If you press the right stick in and move the goalkeeper, it's going to be a lot slower, and the amount of ground covered. Thoughts? Firstly, Morsey?
I was definitely in the camp where, before I saw the patch notes, whether were pitch notes, I didn't mind goalkeeper movement. I thought it was okay to an extent, but but I would have also been pretty indifferent if they just took it out completely. And you playing, I think, about 4 hours of Rivals over the past couple of days, it basically feels that way. It is just like keeper movement is just said, adios, I'm out of here, which I don't mind. But scoring from distance, it's going to be an interesting one. I think a lot of people are going to like it, but I can definitely see the argument where maybe the more seriously high level elite player could get frustrated by how easy it is to score, or maybe the keeper's not maybe using his arms as much as he'd like to. But one thing I did notice actually is rush out. I don't know if you guys have played since the patch, but keepers just bringing out your keeper now is crazy. Like I played against someone using, I think it was Courtois, and I just, in the box, his keeper was on me immediately, and I found it very difficult to get past him. So people might start maybe using that technique to maybe, cover for the fact that they can't move their keeper now. But I don't mind it. I'm not going to lie to you.
The big thing for me, Matt, is this sentence right here. They've got rid of the goalkeeper rush to centre mechanic. That is to my knowledge, that's a double tap triangle, and it covers the back post.
Yeah.
Obviously, last year when Travellas were so strong in the game, this had to be in the game, so you could move the goalkeeper quicker. It's basically another form of goalkeeper movement that a lot of people didn't know about, just that it was a thing in the game. That's been taken out completely. I'm a little bit worried, as Morsey said, that down the line, we finesse shots and no one's really used Travellas because Game Changer Plus isn't that big of a play style. But I'm a little bit worried that people will figure out Travellas and we will be in a situation where there's no point even going into the box anymore because everyone can just score from outside the box.
Yeah, there's always that threat if you do reduce keeper movement, then any mechanic outside the box that doesn't require you breaking down a defense will be just the go-to. For me, it feels a bit like we're papering over cracks. It feels like because AI defending is so overpowered,
let's just make it easier to score.
But I don't know. For me, I can see both sides. I don't mind keeper movement being nerfed with the current game that we have because most people are just grabbing CDMs or strikers even and then not controlling that back line. So, getting open in the box is a rarity. So in that respect, yes, it would be nice if you can score most chances. But let's say we do get an AI defending nerf and it goes back to more so along the lines of what it was at the start of the year. We're in deep trouble where every attack's going to be, well, not every attack, but most attacking chances are going to be scored now. And then do people want that 10-8 game that we had at the start of the year?
Speaking of AI defending, there was this sort of double sentence from the notes. We've seen your feedback around AI defending, especially some concerns that it can feel too strong in certain situations. We continue to look into it closely. Our teams are actively testing further AI defending adjustments internally. We'll keep listening to your feedback and plan to share an update on what we find or make a change if needed in early January. That, to me, is we don't quite know what to do, so we're just going to push it down the road a little bit.
Pretty much.
Just for the simple fact that there's been so much discourse about AI defending that to me, there's been more annoyance in AI defending than there ever was in goalkeeper movement, but goalkeeper movement's been changed pretty quickly. It was only 4 weeks ago, we were talking about we shouldn't be taking Discord surveys on if goalkeeper movement is good or not. And now goalkeeper movement's been changed. I'm just a little bit worried. If you do play clubs, by the way, the archetype max level's been increased to level 75 now. And you get an additional playstyle plus for the signature playstyle, so that's nice. You get more XP as well. And first-time shots have been... The shooting of the first-time shots hasn't been nerfed. However, the goalkeepers should be better able to save it. So keep your eyes peeled. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually quite a small update. in terms of what's actually been changed. It's not like last year where we got a brand new version of the game over Christmas compared to what we were playing in November. However, it could have quite detrimental effects. One small mechanic like the goalkeeper movement being slowed down could be quite large in terms of the actual gameplay experience. I know I use goalkeeper movement in my game a lot. It's something that I just use, and it's going to be quite strange not pressing R3 now, because I can imagine that as soon as you tap it, your goalkeeper's going to shuffle across like a tortoise and the goal's just going to be open to score at the other side. So let's wait and see. Let us know your thoughts down below. Lots to play over the next coming week. We're going to be talking Jogo Bonito next week. Everything after we've seen 4 weeks of the FC Pro Live campaign as well, where the upgrade paths are going. We'll bring you that update next week on the FUTBIN pod. And also, I'll try and bring you a little update on my Evo progression, on my Evo journey, and I'll let you know if Better has got any better. Morsey, it's been an absolute pleasure you joining us. Where can people find your content if they want a little bit more Morsey in their life?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. It was really good fun. I'm on YouTube, Morsey on YouTube. You'll find me there. I do player views, Evo content. I also stream, I say, somewhat daily. I might be accused as being part-time at times, but on twitch.tv, Morsey again, I tend to stream in the morning UK time. So if you want something to watch, that's where I'll be.
It's okay. You're talking to the two biggest part-timers in the community.
Good lads.
I don't think I've turned the stream on since July. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back next week for another episode of the FUTBIN Podcast. Good luck in your champs over the weekend. Best of luck if you are opening packs for Jogo Bonito, and we'll see you next week for another roundup of everything Ultimate Team on the FUTBIN Podcast. Have a great week, everyone.